Here we are in Zoe's lunch room, typical Tuesday afternoon. We jump on chairs, we do our hair, and we do the chicken legs.
Thanks, Matt, for that fun intro. Welcome, everybody, back to ACROLife Online. Today we're going to be exploring, yep, that's the one, those lungs, those spongy air-filled organs that begin at the trachea, otherwise known as the windpipe, and branch all the way down through capillary-like structures into the alveoli. There we go. Those places of gaseous exchange where the oxygen that we breathe in moves out into the blood and around the body, and the carbon dioxide, that stale old byproduct of oxygen metabolizing, crosses over back in to the bronchioles. There they are, up out of the trachea and into the air around us. So let's start with a warm-up. And I'm lucky today to have Matt with me, and later I'll have Tane. We're all in self-isolation. So starting with the warm-up, we're gently increasing the range of movement across all planes of our body to prepare for some more robust action today. Make sure as we move through these shoulder rotations that the feet are hip distance apart. And as you extend your arms, draw the ribs back and down, finding hollow to activate the core, making sure that you evenly distribute the work between all parts of the body. Circling arms together, we're taking the right arm back and the left arm forward here. You can do 10 rounds of this, and as your hands come by the hips, you can see we gently cushion the movement, the impact of the movement in the body, by bending the knees, and then change direction. We're also working timing and coordination. Should feel pretty good in your body. Taking the feet hip distance apart, if they're not already, is a little qigong exercise. We're going to rotate from one side to the other, and as we do, open up the ankle of the side that you're moving towards. Allow the hands to relax and wrap around the hips. This is a hip opener as well as an ankle opener. Bring the hands now up to the shoulders. This time we're going to make sure that the hips are tracking over the knees, over the ankles, and we're just rotating from the base of the spine. So more of an isolated twist through this transverse plane. Follow the fingertips with the gaze, and you'll notice that you can see more and more with the increase of the repetitions as you increase the flexibility in the spine. Segue back to the hip opener, relaxing the hands either side of the hips. Slowly come back to standstill. The spine is vertical. Interlock the fingers over the head. A little side bend. Find your hollow, as we do when we lift our hands up over the shoulders, making sure to engage the core. Bend over to the right and then the left. Bring the feet together, and the same thing. A little bit more difficult. If you have lower back pain, keep the feet apart. Slide the right hand down on the leg, and this time as you bend and bring that right hand over, you'll notice that you can increase the stretch. And segue over to the other side in this wave-like motion, making sure that you're side bending, that there's no forward or back bending. You can't hold any tension when you're shaking, so shake out the hands, shake out the feet, shake out the whole body, and get ready for some lung correctives. These next exercises are specific key yoga lung correctives. They work to stack energy into the lungs and release stale and stagnant energy out of the lungs. Here you can see that we're beating our chest, sound effects optional, and you can move the little fist like, they're called do-in beats along the side of the body, anywhere that feels good, anywhere that you feel you have stagnation. The body's pretty robust. You can come onto the face, make sure you go a little bit more gently here, open the mouth. It's like a self-massage. Got my very special guest Tane here with me. Great exercises for kids. We're all at home with our kids. Great to be doing healthy things that can support us during this time. These key yoga corrective exercises I actually learned over 10 years ago during my kids yoga teacher training and my advanced kids yoga teacher training with the yoga therapy component. They target specifically asthma, shortness of breath, and any weakness in the lungs. Here you can see with our 20 repetitions of sunrise, we lift up, stack the hips over the knees, keep the elbows up to shoulder height as we open up the lungs, breathing in as we rise and breathing out as we come down. You can move quite fast through these repetitions or slowly. Our third yoga corrective exercise, arm bang, is not called arm bang for no reason. It's a very intense and highly charged exercise. As you can see, a little bit more intense for me than Tane at this particular moment in time. We're extending the hands above the head with the hips, and then we bang the hands and the hips come down on the ground at the same time. This exercise is executed in 20 reps. And you can choose to do 1 set, 2 sets, or 3, depending on your energy levels. Here we are in down dog, up dog. We're going to repeat 20 repetitions. You'll notice that after 10, Tane and I take a breather. It can be quite a strenuous exercise. You can see it's very strengthening for the back of the body as well as very opening. The lungs are directly impacted through this spinal extension and forced to open. We come back into a child's pose, well at least I am here, and you can see that Tane is creating these little do-in fists to release any stagnation in my lungs. This is going to wake everything up. You can see his dedication, some great bonding going on as well, great parent bonding. And then we're going to come back for our 10 to complete our 20. As you can see, our feet and our hands don't move. It's the hips that are initiating the change in position. They lift up, the chin comes to the chest, and then they lift down, and the chin comes up to the ceiling. Becomes one fluid wave-like motion. Reaching back into child's pose. And if you are working with partners, you can return the favor here, making little fists. Just check in with your partner that it's not too hard, or maybe they want a little bit more pressure. A sweep down to lift them up. And woohoo, we got there. Last of the solo corrective exercises. We lift up our chest, as you can see, and we point and then flex the feet and the hands together. Yep, point your fucking toes. Don't you know it? Here we are, moving onto our partner exercises. Lucky I have Matt with me to practice these. If you don't have someone with you, really good opportunity to work on your push-ups. So our hands are placed just below the knees. I am shifting my weight from my feet into my hands as I lift up into that box shape. And then we're moving first through the contralateral movement. So one side moves forward as the other side moves back, and continue in that way. Now we're moving from the center out along the horizontal axis, coordinating the upper and lower body at the same time. And then this time in the other direction, which is up and down, and then coming back into the center to stack the hips over the shoulders and the shoulders over the hips. Nice work. Okay, switch as we do. If it's not going to work for whatever reason to shift, having a little bit of trouble here, but I think we're going to get there, then you can just do another set of repetitions with the base as the base and the flyer as the flyer. You can see here that because Matt's weight is heavier than mine, I'm having a little more difficulty. In that respect, I can reduce the repetitions and the range of movement. This is the most challenging one, the vertical extension, but I'm just doing a little bit less to accommodate for the challenging aspect. Leapfrog, super fun exercise to do with the kids, very functional, training that dynamic explosive power that we need in acrobatics, as well as our pike straddle. So you can work with bent legs if your flexibility is compromised, you can see with Matt, or you can attempt to straighten the legs more. Whoopsie. Very explosive, yes. Sometimes you just need to leap into life. Lungs are all about increasing our vitality, breathing life in and letting go what does not serve us. Leapfrog is a really fun and dynamic exercise. Important to have a giggle at these times. So I think we all can agree. Down dog assisted handstands. Okay, really great way to use the support of your friend to work on your vertical splits handstand. As you can see here, I'm alternating my leg lifts, lifting one and then the other before I take one leg up and push off my partner's hips to find the balance in a handstand. I'm going to just reverse that movement to come down safely. Now Matt can choose to practice that, or because he wants to work on his push-ups and that strength that he needs to get better handstands, he's going to use this down dog assisted position to work on his push-ups. This is actually very tricky, this position. Remember, if you are with a partner, encourage them to do that one more. Go that little bit harder. We all need to push each other a little bit during these times.
We can do that second part again. Just give me a break.
Give me a break. Shall I put that on there as a little transition?
Just give me a break.
Just give me a break. Okay, you might have chosen to have a little break with Matt. Welcome back to the Jedi box. Okay, similar to Jedi crawl, but we're starting in a plank position, taking hold of each other's ankles. So the same contact point. The flyer initiates the shift in transition by lifting up the hips. The base follows by lifting up their shoulders, and we come into this box position before coming back down to the plank. You can do that as many times as you can, basically, and then here's an opportunity to work on your vertical splits handstands again. A little bit trickier holding onto the ankles. You can see that Matt here is spotting my foot. So if I come down, I have that point of support to drop back into, and I'm just reversing the position to exit. Common pitfall here is that the base brings the hips too far over the flyer's shoulders, causing them to planch and feel off balance. Make sure as a base, you keep an eye on that. Okay, here we are. wheelbarrow. Let's have a little bit more fun with the full body integration exercise in plank. We're going forward and back because, for us, we're a bit limited with my living room space. We've got our spotter squats. This time the base is getting a workout on the legs. The flyer is staying integrated in their plank position. And then the flyer is working this time with a lot of control by slowly moving through the shoulder taps. Matt's going to do 5 repetitions. You can choose to do a couple of sets of 5. But we've got a plank drill, a tightness drill coming up, and so you may want to save your energy. Most of you guys know this. We're going to switch it up. Have a bit of fun with it. Make sure that your wrists are stacked under the shoulders if you're flying this. Matt could be bending his knees a little bit more here. He's showing you what not to do so well as a spotter. Okay, once you become grounded in that spotter squat position as a flyer, make sure that you just squeeze everything into the center line, ready for your tightness drill. With the tightness drill, after the shoulder taps, here I'm doing them quite quickly, you're imagining that your legs are like a tail, that you have one leg, not two. You can see I'm pretty tired here. I'm letting my leg drop. The idea is to squeeze them together and trust. Matt's going to try and pull them apart. Give them a little wobble before bringing me down. Okay, this would be a lung corrective class without specific breathing exercises. Today we're going to be focusing on Kapalbhati and alternative nasal breathing. Kapalbhati, going through the technique to start. As you can see, I'm showing Matt here. One hand on the chest, one on the belly. Then you can really feel what's happening. As you breathe out, you're going to pull in through the belly and then continue to do this in very fast sequential order. You can see me at the beginning of a 30-round Kapalbhati sequence. I practice 3 of these, and in between I practice 3 long, slow, deep breaths to recalibrate. Kapalbhati is designed to enhance the efficiency of the oxygen exchange into the blood and carbon dioxide out of the lungs, therefore increasing our overall sense of oxygenation and vitality. And here I am looking very serious in the process of practicing alternate nasal breathing. So as you can see, I breathe in through one nostril and then cover that nostril and breathe out the opposite nostril. And then breathe in before I cover and breathe out. Breathing in and then cover and breathe out. So I'm going to practice 30 rounds of this and do 3 sets. Similar to the Kapalbhati, take 3 long, deep breaths in between to recalibrate. This exercise is specifically designed to clear the right and left channels that begin in the nose and run either side of the spine. In yoga philosophy, the spine is seen as the sushumna, and the Ida and the Pingala are seen as these channels that originate in the nose and run either side of the sushumna. We've arrived at the most loved part of the class, massage, and today working with the lungs and some PNF stretching. So here you can see that Matt has his fingers interlocked behind his head, and I have my elbows wrapped underneath his armpits and my hands at the front of his forearms. As I pull his elbows back towards me and count for 5, he's going to resist against me by pulling his elbows in towards each other. We're going to continue this for 3 rounds. With every round increasing the range of movement in his shoulders. And releasing through the lung point, which lives at the shoulder-chest junction. Motorbike, segueing down, both of you onto the floor. Take the wrist-to-wrist grip and place the feet either side of the spine. I find generally thoracic spine is the best place, but as you make sure that you move up and down the spine with the feet, make sure that you communicate clearly to your receiver as to what they like best as far as foot position and the amount of pressure that you're applying. If you scoot your butt a little closer to them, you can offer a little more pressure. As you can see, I've got a little more than a 90-degree angle at the knee. This is optimal for the right amount of pressure in terms of not being too much or too little. I'm not going to demonstrate now, but remember to switch roles. Moving on to the last massage position, I'm making a seat with Matt's feet and I'm turning the toes out and placing them on my thud. You can see he's got a right angle at the knee. We're taking wrist-to-wrist grip or monkey grip, and my feet are planted either side of his hips, and I'm slowly lifting him up by leaning back myself. To increase his arch, I can increase my arch, bringing my chin up to the chest and getting a little stretch myself before lowering him down to the ground. Don't forget to slowly segue out of that, bringing their hips up towards their heels as their hands under their shoulders push off the ground, coming into that child's position, where you can once again create these little doe-in fists or tie palms and release a little bit further through the lungs and through the back. Happy days. Don't forget to switch before coming to the end of week 7 ACROLife.
You can do it.
Thanks for tuning in again. Here's to surviving the coronavirus, and I'll see you all next week.
You. Take 2.
Tony, are you doing it right?
Yeah.
Hips come up. No. Fucking no. No. Hips come down, hands come down. It's not that hard.
Oh.
Hips come up, hands come up.
So it's like, oh no, or is it, wait, is it like this?
Yeah, that's it. Okay, so no.
Yeah, and
Stay, and then, yep, and then hips come down, hands, yeah. But don't move your head. Keep your head where it is. Can you do it again, please?
I'm injured at time.
Okay, come on, down dog. But make it like a long wheelbase, yeah? Come on.
Just tired.
Come on.
Had a hard day's work.
Okay, but be at more of an angle, so take the feet back. People need to see what you're doing. Okay, ready?
Down dog.
So here,
Mama,
and then
lift
forward.
me because I'm wearing socks.
And then up.
Can you see my ass?
Yeah.
You recording?
No.
No, of course not.